And we're back on Jersey Central on the new Talk Radio WCTC, the voice of Central Jersey. It is Burt Barron, and wow, what a show is coming to the State Theater tomorrow night. This is going to be just an unbelievable evening when Holy Holy is going to be there. A tribute to David Bowie called The Man Who Sold the World. And this is going to be a great night. If you're a David Bowie fan, if you're only kind of familiar with his music, this is the show that you want to be at. Joining me now on the Raritan Bay Medical Center Jersey Newsmaker Hotline, let's say hello to the drummer who's going to be there. Really a drummer extraordinaire. Mr. Woodmansey is with us here today. Woody, good morning. It's Burt Barron. How you doing, man?
Hi, Bert. Yeah, I'm doing good.
Wow, this show is going to be unbelievable. I can't wait till tomorrow night. Talk about what Holy Holy is going to be doing at State Theater.
We're actually doing the whole of The Man Who Sold the World, that album, in the running order of the album, and then we're going to do some kind of choice tracks that we like playing from the Ziggy album, Hunky Dory and Aladdin Sane. So we worked a nice set out. Because we never actually did The Man Who Sold the World with David live. You know, that was the first album that Mick Ronson and myself and Tony Visconti on bass and Tony was producing. Mm-hmm. That was the first one we did with David. And David was kind of going from one manager to another at that time, so it was a little bit unsettled. We finished the album and we were kind of really excited to get out on the road, but we never did it. The new management wanted to get in doing new material, and so we ended up going straight into Hunky Dory, and then 2 weeks later we went back in to do Ziggy. So
wow.
The Man Who Sold the World kind of got jumped, and David always wanted to do it, and I'd done a few gigs with the band without Tony in England, and then had the idea to do this the whole album. And I rang him up, and I knew he was busy production-wise, as he always is.
Right,
so
right.
I said, I've got this idea, and he just said, yes, I'm there. And I said, well, I thought I would have to talk for at least an hour to talk you into it. He said, no. So that's one of the biggest regrets of my career, that we never did that. He said, David and I always talked about it, that we wish we'd done that album live.
Wow.
And so it was good. So he kind of came to London, and we rehearsed, and it sounded brilliant.
It's a great album. Anybody that, sadly, when we lost David earlier this year, a lot of people kind of went back and started to rediscover his great music. And boy, when you came upon The Man Who Sold the World, I mean, what a gem, what a jewel of an album that really was, Woody. That was fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, we liked it because there was nothing around really at that time that was lyrically like that. Like, some of the lyrics were pretty dark, and we just wanted to get out on the road and see what the audience is made of it, really.
Yeah, and it's
taken all this time to be able to do that.
Right.
The audiences have been fantastic. What's been strange is, seeing like 16-year-olds and from there to like 65-year-olds all singing along to those lyrics.
Sure. Just appealed to so many generations, the music of David that you guys made together, right?
Yeah, it's been really nice. The audiences have been fantastic.
Man, I had no idea that it was because of that change that this album unfortunately sort of fell through the cracks, but you guys are back on the road and bringing this music to people, and this is big-time stuff. You guys are going all over the world with this tour, right?
Yeah, we're trying to.
Fantastic. Wow. Woody Woodmansey's our guest this morning on WCTC. We're talking about the show tomorrow night at the State Theater with Holy Holy, The Man Who Sold the World, a tribute to David Bowie. This is going to be the album in its entirety. First time ever it's going to be performed, and it's going to be an amazing night. Tickets start at just $25. You can get tickets at 732-246-SHOW or statetheaternj.org. Woody, talk about the production. Talk about putting this album together. What were some things you guys were going through?
I guess because it was really the first time that Mick Ronson, the guitarist, and myself had been in a real studio, like a prop. We'd done demos and things like that. So it was a big deal for us in London going into this studio called Advision, and we were doing it with a real producer who had, so many credits to his name. So it was it was a real start point of our careers, you know. And we kind of joined David, and I guess as a musician, you do like a checklist in your head. You know, you meet the guy, you like him. Does he look cool? Can he perform? Does he project? Has he got presence? Can he write songs? Can he sing? So in a short space of time, you know, we kind of ticked the boxes, you know.
Yeah, I think that was yes all the way from top to bottom. I think that was all yeses.
Yeah, exactly. so it was good for us, and like with Tony being a producer, he had a lot of ideas for percussion, and we'd been doing like progressive rock, blues rock, and things like that. So one day he brought me this thing that looked like a sausage, and it was red at one end and green at the other, with all these ridges on it and a hole in it. And he said, "Can you put this on the track, The Man Who Sold the World?" And I had no idea what it was. I'd never seen anything like it. So I held it and blew across the hole, and he went, "No, you idiot." And he gave me a little stick. He said, "You hit it and run it across the ridges, and it makes this sound." So, and then that and bringing in big timpani. I'd never played timpani before, so it was a big learning curve on the musical side, you know.
Yeah, and the work is obviously a masterpiece that has held up all this time, Woody. It's would you say this is your masterwork of everything you've done?
One of them. One of them
Sure.
that I'm proud of.
Okay. Very cool. And tomorrow night, State Theater, you want to be there with Woody Woodmansey and Tony Visconti, who was the producer of this great record. He's going to be playing the bass tomorrow night, too, for The Man Who Sold the World, the tribute to David Bowie, live on stage at the State Theater, statetheaternj.org or 732-246-SHOW. You mentioned that this was your first sort of quote-unquote real time being in a recording studio. Did the producer bring more out of you, Woody? Or did you feel maybe you were a little bit restricted by what the producer was hoping to get? Talk about the dynamic between you and Tony.
Well, the kind of concept for the album was kind of our Sergeant Pepper's album. Excuse me. So it was like, you know, we were open for anything, even the kitchen sink, if I could play that, you know. And it was probably the first album that featured Moog synthesizer.
Wow.
And it was about the size of a normal kitchen. This thing with like so many leads. It took hours to plug it all in to get the Moog sounds out of it. So there's a lot of innovative ideas on it. So it was quite challenging to get our head around David's songs and what we had to do to bring them to life.
Yeah, well, they're going to be coming to life tomorrow night at the State Theater, and this is a performance not to be missed for any David Bowie fan. So get tickets. There are a limited number of tickets that remain, statetheaternj.org, or the box office, which opens at 10 this morning at 732-246-SHOW. Talk about the other band members, Woody, that you and Tony have put together for this tour.
Yeah, we've got James Stevenson on lead guitar, who was the second guitarist with the Colts. We got Paul Cuddiford, who is Bob Geldof's guitarist. A guy on sax who's amazing, called Terry Edwards. He just blows me away every night. I just look forward to hearing the sax come through my speakers. And an English band called Heaven 17. We got the lead singer, Glenn Gregory, who's doing an amazing job. He takes the melodies that David obviously wrote, but he doesn't in any way try to be Bowie. He makes it his own, and he really pulls it off. It's because we didn't want something to sound like David, you know.
Sure.
And the keyboard player, Berenice Scott, who is also in Heaven 17, and Tony's daughter on backing vocals and guitar. So it's, the thing is, most of these guys got into music as musicians through those early albums. So you've got, they're still fans. So you've got a fan and somebody who's also made their name as a musician. You put the two together, and it's quite a different spirit. You know, when we played with David on tours, we wanted to get the notes right, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But the senior thing was always to get the spirit of the song and the excitement, or whether it was a dark song. It was always that more than the notes being correct. And so we've kind of kept the spirit alive, basically.
Yeah, and it's going to be alive and well tomorrow night at the State Theater, that's for sure, Woody. Well, thank you for your time today, and congratulations. I can tell you're enjoying getting out there and finally playing this music live for people. It's been a long time in the works for you, and it's kind of a reward, kind of a payoff at the end of the day for you too, Woody, to finally be able to play these songs live for people, right?
It is, yeah, it is, very much.